Good morning, friends. Happy Thursday. Let's get started with our good morning song. Good morning, Blue Jay friends, and how are you today? We come to meeting to sing and laugh and play. And when we're up, and when we're down, and when we're in the middle, we're not up or down. So roll your hands real slow and roll them really fast and give your hands a clap, clap, clap and place them in your lap, lap, lap. Great job, friends. I thought we could do a couple of weather songs today, sort of weather songs, because it's so rainy this morning. Why don't we start with Rain, Rain, Go Away? Rain, rain, go away, come again another day. All the Blue Jays want to play. Rain, rain, go away. Now, as much as we might want the rain to go away, we know it is important for the plants that are growing, right? All right, why don't we do You Are My Sunshine? You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Great. Now, I told you guys I would be sending an email or a video update yesterday, and I did not, and that's because I could not get it to work in a way that was visible, that would have been visible on the screen or in a picture. So the first round that I did with you guys in the morning, where I added all the leaves to the water and I left it out in the sun, it got shady about halfway through the day and couldn't really see anything happen at all. So I went and I found a bigger leaf and put that by itself in the water and left that in the sun for like 2 or 3 hours. And the bubbles that formed on it were so tiny, you really needed like a magnifying glass to see it. And I tried to get a picture of it, I tried to get video of it, and you couldn't see anything. So they were there, but it was really hard to get a visual of it. So I'm gonna keep trying. We're gonna go back to this experiment as soon as bigger leaves come out on the trees, because I think it's gonna be easier to see on a bigger leaf. But we'll see. I'll keep trying, and if I come up with results that you guys can visually see, I will absolutely send that over to you. And if you tried it, if it worked for you, what was your experience with it? I would love to hear that kind of feedback too. All right, so I know we talked about our 2 really big words yesterday. Do you guys remember what they are? Respiration, right? Respiration. And that means when the plant takes in carbon dioxide and lets out oxygen through the leaves. That's the plant's respiration. It's a really big word. Now, we have another super big word, right? And this one has a funny sound at the beginning. Do you remember? Photosynthesis. It has that f sound at the beginning. That sounds like it would be an F, but there's no F, right? It makes that f sound because it's a P and an H together. Photosynthesis. And photosynthesis is the process that green plants use to make their own food. So to take nutrients and water from the soil and carbon dioxide into the leaves. It's photosynthesis. They're making their own food. So I thought we would add a couple more vocabulary words to, our list for the upcoming month or so. because we're going to be moving from sort of the life cycle more into plants specifically, because so many things are growing and changing right now. And these words are going to be a lot easier. So we're going to go through these words, and I have little flashcards here, and we're going to try and maybe add a picture to the ones that can easily be adding a picture to. And if you want to make these at home too, it's a really great activity to draw your own picture of what you think it looks like. That helps you remember it, to add your own illustration. I didn't leave myself a ton of room on these to draw, but we're going to try and squeeze them in where we can. So I honestly can't think of a way to illustrate photosynthesis or respiration in a way that's small enough to fit on the flashcard. So we're going to leave those alone for the moment. How about stem? What was stem? Stem is the part of the plant that holds it up straight, right? So if the flower part is up here, imagine my hand is a flower, and the soil and dirt are down here, the stalk is the straight up part in the middle. So I'm going to draw a quick flower sketch. With an arrow pointing to the stem. And that brings water and nutrients up the plant. And it also helps hold it straight up. So, flower. That one's really easy, right? Flower. This one has a f sound and actually starts with an F, right? Flower. And that one's going to be pretty easy to illustrate. I would love to see how you guys illustrate flower. But for me, it's going to be really simple. There we go. Flower. Then we've got, ooh, this one. Soil. Soil. Starts with an S. Soil. What is soil? It sounds like dirt, right? It's what the plant grows in. And that is a home for the roots and has the nutrients in it. Water soaks into it. And for that, I just drew a little line, because all it is the dirt on the ground or in a pot. That's what soil is. Then we've got, continue with the flower parts. Woo. Seed. What are seeds? Seeds are the part of the plant that helps it reproduce. They get carried to a different location or fall off the plant, get carried by animals, and go back into the ground to make a new plant. And they can look all sorts of different ways. Some are big, some are small. I'm sure we've all seen lots of seeds in our life. But for the purposes of my drawing, there's going to be a bunch of little circles. Kind of look like carrot seeds. Actually bigger than carrot seeds. Carrot seeds are super teeny tiny. All right. How about root? Root. Starts with an R. Root. What part of the plant is that? That's the part all the way at the bottom that we can't see, right? It anchors the plant to the ground, and it helps it collect the nutrients from the soil. So I'm going to do a quick sketch of roots. So there would be the plant stem, and down here is the roots in the ground. Then we've got Another R word, rain. Rain. You guys know what rain is, I'm sure. It's water. Water naturally occurring from the atmosphere. We can also get our plants water by watering them from a watering can or hose. Rain. Rain is a good spring vocabulary word too, because we usually get a lot of rain in the spring. Like today. It helps the plants grow. Now, the next word I have, I cannot think of a way to illustrate in an easy way. So we're just gonna talk about the word. This is oxygen. Oxygen is what plants put out, what they emit, what comes out of the leaves. And oxygen is what we as humans, animals, need to breathe. So it's really, really good thing that the leaves kind of eat the carbon dioxide that we're putting out and create new oxygen. When you're breathing right now, you're breathing oxygen. So that word is a little tricky. It's got a lot of big letters that you might not see in other words so frequently, like X, right? Oxygen. O-X-Y-G-E-N. Oxygen. And we'll go over these words again, particularly the really big ones, because I know those can be really tricky. We don't hear those in conversation very often. But we'll just keep going over them, and hopefully it'll stick. Now, if you want to add to this vocabulary list, please, please do. If you think of words that you associate with plants and spring and weather and anything like that, feel free to just keep adding to the list, like storm, tree, branch, things like that, grass, whatever you want to add. Just keep talking about it. That's great. And we're going to read a story before we go. Where the wild things are, right? All right, let me scoot over so you guys can see. And this is by Maurice Sendak. Has been drawn in by my daughter, as most of my books have. Let's see. The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind and another. His mother called him Wild Thing, and he said, "I'll eat you up." So he was sent to bed without eating anything. That very night in Max's room, a forest grew and grew and grew until his ceiling hung with vines and the walls became the world all around. And an ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max, and he sailed off through night and day. And in and out of weeks and almost over a year to where the wild things are. And when he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. Till Max said, "Be still," and tamed them with the magic trick of staring into all their yellow eyes without blinking once. And they were frightened and called him the most wild thing of all. And made him king of all wild things. "And now," cried Max, "let the wild rumpus start." And there we go. It looks like they're having a really good time. Now stop, Max said, and sent the wild things off to bed without their supper. And Max, the king of all wild things, was lonely and wanted to be where someone loved him best of all. Then all around from far away across the world he smelled good things to eat. So he gave up being king of where the wild things are. But the wild things cried, "Oh, please don't go. We'll eat you up. We love you so." And Max said, "No." The wild things roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws, but Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye. And sailed back over a year and in and out of weeks and through a day. And into the night of his very own room where he found his supper waiting for him. And it was still hot. All right, friends, I'll see you in a little bit for 2 more stories.